For so much of my life, I had allowed fear to hold me back. And it wasn't even until recently, and I mean like in the past 7 months, that I'm actually strong enough to admit it. That I'm actually strong enough to admit that the first time I was diagnosed with cancer, I was scared. I remember I was standing in the hallway of Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut at a sales meeting just like this. And when I got the call, I walked out in the hallway and I had to hear those words for the first time. You have cancer. All I knew about cancer was chemo and death. So hearing those words was hard. Saying them was even harder. My boss followed me out in the hallway because he knew the call I was about to take. And I had to tell him, I have cancer. It was a hard thing to say. I called some of my closest friends on the way home that night, but I just didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to feel like a patient. I didn't want anyone feeling sorry for me. I didn't want to feel like a victim. And I went home that night, and I'm standing in my small 500 square foot apartment with no heating in Milford, Massachusetts, and I'm standing in the bathroom, and I'm staring into the mirror, and I didn't like what I saw. Because staring back at me was just a scared little kid. Just weepy eyes, puffy red face. Begging to God, why me? This helpless victim. And I didn't like what I saw. It took me a minute. I stared back. I probably swore a few times. And I finally said out loud, I am nobody's victim. I am nobody's victim. And I said it louder. I am nobody's victim. Louder and louder each time until I am screaming at the top of my lungs. 500 square foot apartment, 12 other people live there and they can hear me. I am nobody's victim until finally I am yelling, if you want me, come and get me. Come and take this from me! Within hours of hearing that initial diagnosis and being a scared little kid, I suddenly became defiant. And it was me versus cancer. And that's how I have taken the fight for the last 20 years. And that is why every time I race now, I race with the words F cancer sharpied across my chest. And that's why I'm wearing pink, because I'm fundraising for the American Cancer Society in the fight against breast cancer.